They are the nicest people ever. And there's no way that they're like, okay, so we're thinking of hiring you. Are you nice? Like, Hey, welcome to Smart AF. I'm your host, Torie Mathis. We have got a great show for you today, so let's get started.
One of my biggest pet peeves whenever we go into any business establishment is piss poor customer service. Like, it drives me absolutely nuts. And I think the reason is, or why it does, is because it should be so damn easy. Like, customer service is one of the easiest things you can do. And yet so many people fail at it. I guarantee you've gone grocery shopping and you've gone up to the cashier and they look like they're absolutely miserable. They're like, what are you doing coming up here and making me do something? And then I think internally, it makes you feel bad, it just changes like chemicals in your brain. You're like, why are you making me angry? Versus that person that's
buy groceries.
Yeah, that's like, hey, how are you? You know, find everything you needed? Yeah, great. That's it. I mean, I've gone to places where they don't even look at you. You walk in and there's not even an acknowledgement that you're there. They at that point in the transaction, they don't need to do anything with you other than go, okay, somebody's in here. Like, just give me that
head nod.
Yeah, hey, like, don't tell me, ask me how I'm doing or any of that kind of stuff. Like, you can, but ultimately just I need to know that
you're acknowledging
I belong in here. Like,
right,
otherwise it's like, are they closed? Or, am I not supposed to be here? It goes so far. And then you've already, now, right off the bat, you've got this mentality shift of this business sucks. And it all stems just from customer service.
When we talk about sales process all the time, and your customer service, like these companies, like how is that can't be what they're training people to do. I haven't done customer service like legitimately for another company in a long time. But when I did, like during training, like it was really like, this is what you do when a customer comes in. And you can see these businesses that do it really well, that what the hell are these grocery store people doing that they're not training their people to do this? Do you think that, what's this what's going on? There's a disconnect somewhere.
It's gotta be that they're just able to get away with it. It was, so my routine when I come back from the museum, because it's an hour commute.
It's not a good routine, you guys.
I stop at Wendy's and get the 4 for $4. It's a decent amount of food. It tastes decent and it's cheap, and I can eat it while I'm heading home, because that's ultimately what I want to do, is just get home, and it's going to take me an hour to get there. And I've probably starved myself for a couple hours longer than I should have. So I'm starving. So I drive to the drive-thru every time, just get the food and get going home. I have been handed my food and drink so many times now from the same place. Nothing. Not a word to me. You can't even see them. They literally shove the food into my hand, and that's it.
Really?
There's nothing. There's nothing. It friggin' drives me nuts. I
We're gonna change it to what drives Sean nuts.
Holy cow!
It's always what drives Torie crazy.
I'm not asking for a whole lot of anything, really, but have a nice day. Here you go. Literally, just tell me you're handing my food.
You know what's funny is, like, I hate small talk. Like, I hate the fakeness of phony small talk. Like, I've always hated it. At the same time, genuine, like, just be nice. Like, that friendliness, that, hey, I hope you have a nice day. Like, it makes such a big difference. Like you said, when you walk in somewhere and all of a sudden you're like, maybe I'm not supposed to be here. Look at what's going on. Like, it really does make
in some places, yeah. Like, I don't even want to, like, pick something up to bring it to the cashier, because I feel like maybe they're playing on their phone or doing something else, and I'm going to inconvenience them to
That's the word I was thinking of.
Lost the whole
inconvenient. Like that's the word. Like if you are inconveniencing them for being there, that way at certain restaurants, to go check out of places, like it's the weirdest feeling. Like you really need to look out if you're a business owner what your employees are doing for this, because it is setting the tone for everything. And a bad experience, worse than a bad review. Like nobody wants a bad review. Like that sucks. But just the fact that person, they may never come back in. They might go tell somebody else that they're not going to come back in either.
Yeah, that can have a trickle effect on all kinds of aspects of your business.
Yet there are these companies that are just so great at it. Like, I want to be like them. You were talking about Virgin Airlines. What were you saying? Like, Richard Branson's huge on customer service, right? So they've always been one that, and I said Southwest. Like, I used to always like flying Southwest because they actually had personality. They felt like it was actually a little bit fun and not just so like robotic and.
Well, I think like people, if you don't structure, the sales process or whatever the case may be, if it's flight attendants, if you're like, you make sure you fit everything you need to do into this little box and don't go out of it. They turn into robots and it's not fun. A lot of times, especially on flights, I mean, they're high stress already. They might be scared. It doesn't take that much. So the story with Richard Branson on one of his books that I read, he was saying that the flight attendants they hid inside the cargo compartment. So as passengers were coming onto the planes and they go to put their luggage inside there, the flight attendants laying inside there. Like it might not. Maybe I'm unique, but I'd find that shit hilarious. It would change the entire vibe of the whole flight. Right. Like, I would want to interact with that flight attendant as much as possible. I mean, it's like, you walk by somebody that's, one of those people, like, I'm not one of those people, but one of those people that seem to always be smiling. So people that smile, there's something about them that you always want to be around them, because I think they make you feel like they want you around them. Whether they do or not, I mean, it doesn't really matter, because it's how it makes you feel.
I don't like that fake small talk stuff, no. But just a little bit of a smile or a welcomingness, that nod, that, it really makes
you don't have to go over the board and like ask them how their kids are. Like, nobody, you don't. I know you don't care, and I don't really care to share. Just acknowledge me. Just a little something that makes me feel like this is a business establishment that wants to sell me something.
Well, and that's like, okay, when you call customer service, you're calling customer service to get help. And sometimes when you call, it's like they don't want to help you. It's like, what is your job? Like, is it just to get people off the phone?
I think it is sometimes on stuff like that.
That's really crazy. Okay, so I was saying GoDaddy. I used to, because lots of our clients had GoDaddy for their hosting or for their domains. And so we would always set everything up for them. We still do. And so I've been calling GoDaddy for, oh my gosh, 13, 14 years. And way back when, they were a joy. I loved calling them. They were so nice. They would put me on hold. They would help me with whatever I had. Sometimes they would say, hey, if you still have problems with this, I'll email you. And then you can email me and, I'll take care of, like, super nice, super helpful. In the last maybe like 3 years or whatever, I don't deal with them anymore. Like, you're the one that if we have to call a hosting company for a client, you're the one that generally does it. Apparently, they're not very good anymore. Not helpful. Won't do anything for you. We switched all of our hosting stuff to WP Engine, and they are fantastic. Like, that is how a company should be. You call them or chat with them. Chat is available, so you don't even have to call. They just do everything for you. Like, it's their system. They know how to do it. Like, just do it. It can't be that hard to just make these types of things happen. And where it feels like if I call or you call, like, they're actually wanting to help you, actually making it better. Like, it's crazy that doesn't happen with some of these.
GoDaddy seemed to be like, oh, here's your problem. This is what you need to do. Like, I called you. to fix it.
Well, and we're technical. Like, I could only imagine what they're doing for like these end users that like that's not what they do on a daily basis. Like, really, are they telling these people, here, you go figure it out how to fix it? Or
yeah, I mean, the WP Engine, when we moved a few of the websites and put SSL certificates on them, it kept making it so that the website was showing insecure, even though it was secure. And so there's just a little tweaks that need to be done to it, which I could do now. But when we first did it, like, it's all new system, so you're like, what the heck? It's, it should be good. What's going on? So contact WP Engine. They're like, yep, there's a few things that need to be done. I'll do it. Not, do you want me to do it? I'll get it done, and then it was done, and everything was golden. Whereas, the other one would be like, here's what would fix it, or what you need to do. Have fun. Like, so now I spent, all this time on the phone waiting and waiting and waiting for you to then tell me what I already knew. Like, don't tell me something I can Google and figure out. And waste all. The whole point is that I don't want to waste my time messing with something that I know for a fact they can go in and fix real quick.
Well, and that makes a big difference, because now I would tell anybody, like,
don't use them.
Don't use them. Like, if you don't want to have to worry about it, you want them to actually help you. Like, here's another company that's a lot better.
Well, that because we do what we do, like, I would definitely not want to send any of our clients there, because then it's going to come back on us.
Right.
They're going to have us do it, and that's not really what we're trying to focus on here, because it takes, some of the stuff takes a ton of time if that's not what you do all the time on a daily basis. And so, yeah, it's brutal how some of these companies just, their customer service just isn't there. And really, I think from a business owner, they either don't know what's happening for whatever reason, or they're letting them get away with it and not realizing the impact that it has on the overall business.
There's definitely, there's companies though that have a good grasp on what their employees do, whether it be customer service or their just like repeatable type things. For example, like, you go to Aldi, every single one of them are super fast and they're going to check you out really quick. You never go in there and have a slow one. Like, whatever their training is or whatever their employee directions are, like, it's the same. There's a consistency throughout. Chick-fil-A, anytime you go in there, they are the nicest people ever, and there's no way that they're like, okay, so we're thinking of hiring you, are you nice? Like, that doesn't happen. So I don't know what it is, but every single one I've ever been in, they are the nicest people ever.
Yeah, the fast food wise, nobody compares. Not even close. We're not talking food, the quality of the food or even any like taste or not that. Just the vibe of the whole business. Whether it's drive-through or dine-in, take out any of that kind of stuff. There's no one that touches Chick-fil-A on that customer service aspect.
And I don't eat fast food, and I very rarely go in there, so it's not like I have like all this type, but every single time I've ever been into one, like, they're always super nice. And so there's got to be something in there that I don't know if it would be like the overall vibe of the entire company. Like, maybe the owners or the managers, like, maybe they're making sure, like, what makes Virgin different than, blah, blah airline?
It's got to be that.
Is it coming from the top? And like there's got to be something in there that's making it that way, because it's a company-wide thing.
It's the customer experience. I mean, it's companies that put an emphasis on the customer experience. They're not just selling you some crap. It's the whole package. It's right up there with like Apple.
I was thinking that.
So you could just buy the iPhone and it can come in a brown paper bag. But it doesn't. It comes in a super fancy box, and you get that whole unboxing thing, which has become a thing for multiple products now. But it didn't used to be that way, and then when they have the Apple stores, like, they designed it the same way, almost like the unboxing and the clean, and like
That's true, because even though it's a
experience.
complicated product for a lot of people, there are people that's their job, is to just help you out, explain it, hook it up for you. Like, they're so
They got the geniuses
open
there.
and willing to. And that's the thing with them, is that when you first walk in, like the first couple of times I went in there, I was like this seems like, I don't know, like I wasn't sure. They're all really nice. It's not like they're stuck up geniuses, like they're actually helpful geniuses.
Like their job is to help you, not have them inconvenienced.
It's very sterile in there. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, it's a little bit like super modern, and like it could come off a little bit harsh. So to have that positioned with the fact that they are actually nice and helpful was actually refreshing. Like, their customer service is fantastic. So there's got to be some way that you can like wrap that around, like whatever, your business is, to ensure that you have these policies in place, this training in place. And really, I think it has to come from, like, if you're a dickhead, your customers or your employees are going to be probably the same way. Like, you got to lead from the top there. Make sure that you're setting that example for people too.
Yeah, and I mean, whether it's you are the business, there is no employees, or you have employees, it's one of those things that you've got to be aware of, whether it's you with the bad attitude or you've got employees with bad attitudes. I mean, really, it's coming down to being aware of it and making sure that don't let the customer feel like you're having a bad day, and that you don't want them as a client or a customer, or whatever the case may be, and make it so that they feel appreciated, that they're there buying from you.
I think you can always, when you have those really good times or those really bad times, you can always like note and plan, like, all right, if I walk into this building or walk into this store and nobody acknowledges, that is an instant, isolating feeling. Like, how can I work that into my business? How can I work that into my process? How can I make that welcoming? If you really did like, the funny type personality stuff, like, okay, where in my business can I actually do that funny stuff? Like, I think that helps make that, like you said, like with Apple, more of just like buying something. It's like that experience and that brand. And I think if you can make your business like that, like that could be an everlasting brand, because you have that experience built into it, rather than just, I'm going to sell you my stuff.
Walmarts are gigantic stores, tons of people and all that. And yet every single one of them has a Walmart greeter.
Do they all have that?
Right, you go inside.
I can't tell you the last time
I can't tell you either, but I know they have it. I mean, there's somebody at the entrances there, yeah, and just acknowledge. Their job is to just acknowledge everyone that walks through the door. I mean, that I think that's fantastic. Because I think the store is so big, like they can't do a whole lot of small talk at registers or anything, and they have self-checkout and stuff, and the store's so big, there's the potential for you to not interact with anybody in there, and some people want that. We would want that. But at the same time, I'm perfectly okay with walking by somebody that says, hi, thanks for coming. That's it. It just completely changes the whole vibe. You might have somebody that was going to shoplift in there, but somebody's like, hey, thanks for coming. They're like, oh, maybe I won't steal from this guy. I feel like it's a mentality thing. Like, I really think that customer service is such a bigger aspect of every business that people don't give enough credit. I would buy something from somebody much more likely and more often and more expensive if that customer experience was better. And we've had multiple financial advisors and people going through, like, the ultimate deciding factor was like, how much do we like this person? Like, if they're dicks and we don't really like what they're saying, but their product and whatever that is they're trying to sell us seems like the greatest thing in the world, but like, I don't want to deal with this guy. Like, right. No, they don't. They lost us. It goes across the board, man. so many levels. So it's super important.
Well, people like to refer family, friends to people they like. Like, it feels good to be like, yes, you should go there. They're great. Or, use them. They're so nice. That's definitely how you're going to grow your business with customer service. Probably even beyond having a quality product. Like, I think it's pretty close there, going hand in hand.
Yeah, somebody calls wanting a quote or something. You give them the quote, do all the stuff, normal business stuff like that. All right, have a good day at the end of the conversation. I mean, that's all we're talking. I mean, nothing crazy, just common courtesy type stuff that, that'll make them feel like you want them there. And that hopefully that's what you want, is you want those customers and clients and people making purchases from you. So, customer service. Don't screw it up.
If you want to get smart tools to build your business, go to besmartaf.com.